I'm Rich Bonaduce.
And I'm Kent Dunn.
And we're two white guys talking about Black Panther.
Yes, we are.
It's the truth. Welcome to Critical Mass, and it has been a long time.
It's been a long time.
At least a year.
Man, I need to see you more often. And maybe not in that hat.
No, what? Racist.
Oh, come on.
That's what it is.
Already?
Already.
Let's get it started.
You know, I'll put it this way. By the way, in the last year, I'm on the air with Fox 13.
Yeah.
In the mornings on Good Day Utah between basically 7 and 10 a.m. talking movies and music and theater and concerts and all kind of stuff. But on Fridays, specifically movies. And now, of course, we're going to start doing Critical Mass again. And you've been doing some cool stuff, too.
I have. So I have my own website where I review movies at ShowtimeShowdown.com, but also a podcast, which you and I talk about a lot off air. Mm-hmm. It's Baconcell. You could go to baconcell.com. It's a little bit like Kate Beckinsale, but it's bacon. Anyways,
two great things that are great together.
Exactly. It's the best things ever. So we're in season 4 at this point,
and
my gosh. The show is just rolling. We're talking about love songs and everything like that, and Marvel movies occasionally.
So what's a season, technically?
What's a season?
Not a year.
We go a year. We go a year basis.
It's been 4 years?
Crazy, right?
4 years, and he's never had me on it. Wow.
Well, thanks for having me on the show today.
Anyway,
sorry, Rich.
So for those of you who've been under a rock and have not contributed to the $404 million take
Are you kidding me?
of Black Panther.
Wow.
Yeah, worldwide. For the 4-day weekend.
But still like nearly 200 million here in the U.S. in like
202,
3 days.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, for the 4-day, it's something like 235 million.
I don't think they hate that.
I don't think so.
They're printing money.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know anything about that, let's give you a little bit of background to Black Panther. Would you like to start? You want me to do it?
You know, you go for it. I mean, you're on a roll here. I mean, you're wearing the hat.
I am wearing the hat. Yes, it's true. And, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, this is not intentional.
No, really.
We're
No,
trying.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Next time, more color. How about
Really?
that?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I wear colors on Fox, and I take a lot of flack for it, but I'm going to do it. Anyway, Black Panther has been around in the comic books since 1966 in Marvel comic books. In one iteration or the other, they tried to change his name at one point. He was a good guy, he was a bad guy, etc. But he was only introduced in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in 2016.
Yeah, for Captain America
Civil War. Mm-hmm. And he was a great character.
Yeah.
People liked him and all that.
Made quite a splash, great costume.
Yeah.
And honestly, kind of a C-list comic book character.
Yeah. As were a lot of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Ant-Man?
Ant-Man.
Come on.
And then you put money towards them.
Yeah.
Make a huge movie, and then make that money back.
Yeah. And he got a good response in that movie. And, of course, there was a Black Panther movie in the offing. They've been working on it for a long time. It finally happens. And they basically reintroduce him because they didn't get into him that much in Civil War.
No, maybe 15-minute screen time.
Yeah, too much going on.
Right.
So they have to give him a good background story. They have to talk about his fictional African country of Wakanda.
Wakanda, indeed. Wakanda forever.
As well as all the inhabitants and supporting characters, and of course introduce the villain and the whole bit. So let's just give you a little taste of Marvel's Black Panther.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up. Let's go.
We are home. My son, it is your time.
Show me my respect and bow down.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be. Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
The revolution will not be televised.
Show me my respect and bow down. We own ya. We own ya. We only getting started now. Cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now. Cause we own ya. You and I'm a homie. Cause we down.
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. Wakanda forever! The revolution will not be televised.
Let's have some fun.
The revolution will be live.
So anyway, Black Panther has been something that we've been hearing about for a long time, and the hype machine was in full swing.
Totally.
And people were loving it before it even came out, kind of
Yeah.
thing, because they love the idea.
Yeah, the idea is great. It's an unknown character, so there is a lot to build there, but then there's also a lot of crazy hype as well. I mean, because really can't say anything negative
Right.
about the movie, but already, like, out the gate, before we saw it, the reviews were great.
Yeah.
They're calling this the best Marvel movie of 18. This is the 18th
Yeah.
Marvel movie in 10 years.
Yeah, and they had a world premiere with the purple carpet and a huge African theme and all these awesome costumes, and that was before we got to see it.
Yes.
And so some people got to see it, like New York and LA, etc. And we could hear.
Yeah, what's wrong with
from
Salt Lake City? I mean, come
I
on,
know.
I mean, right?
Huge Black
I mean,
Panther
this
market
right here, yeah.
That's right. And you know, we heard from those folks, oh, it's the most amazing thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
So it had a huge hype coming into it before the critics saw it the week of.
Yes.
Much less people seeing it, you know, a few days later. And I'd probably like you, I was sharing it on social media that, hey, this is coming. And if I saw a featurette or I saw something cool, I would share that too and say, oh, here's Chadwick Boseman, here's what's happening with him, etc.
Well, and I kind of did a humble brag. I'm like, oh, in 2 days I'm going to go see Black Panther.
For sure.
And then I got more comments that weren't like, oh, I'm so excited. More comments calling me out, basically.
What do you mean?
Being a little bit negative, maybe even like, if you don't like this movie.
Oh, right, already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You know, I actually got a little bit of it. I got the other way up
Okay,
front.
sure.
I got that I was hyping it out of white guilt.
Oh.
And that, and
Okay.
I had three reasons. One was white guilt. The other was that I bought into the hype. I'm just a sheep.
Okay.
And somebody in New York said, this is awesome, and LA, and I went, yeah, it's awesome, and just went. And the other one
You
was...
got your check, right? Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
okay,
right,
great.
yeah.
Sure.
And the other one was that, and you're a part of this too, I was part of it. I was part of the leftist liberal media pushing this agenda
Okay.
before I'd ever even seen it. And I was like, okay, whatever. So
Yeah.
we see it,
It's a blockbuster movie.
and we
anyways.
push them all.
Sure.
Yeah.
We go see them, we review them.
Yeah.
Okay.
In all honesty, not to spoil this, I'm a geek. I'm a comic book geek.
You're a well-dressed geek today, sir.
and I'm a and I'm a movie geek.
Yeah.
So this was like, I'm excited for any superhero film. I
Right.
don't care. I am. DC, Marvel, I don't care. I'm like, oh,
He really is. He's not lying.
yeah, I want to see them, and I hope they're good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, for me, this was cinematic surf and turf, right? I like meat. I like fish.
Okay.
I got my comics and my movie, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
So I was just excited about it, no matter
Okay.
what.
So you were overhyping the movie with everyone else.
Probably.
Before you saw it.
Right.
Okay.
Overhyping being, the term that people were going.
Right.
Like, why are you talking about it so much, bro? White guilt? I was like, yeah, that's exactly
Sure,
why.
if that's what you
You've
wanna
got
think.
me nailed.
Yeah.
So the movie comes out, and spoiler alert, I don't give it an A+, triple A. Now I'm a racist. I went from being part of the white guilt movement and just going along with it so I could be in with my black friends
To you,
being
you
racist.
should feel guilty
Right.
at this point.
Right. And by the way, he likes it less than I do.
Oh, come on. Maybe I'm going to give it a better review now that we're in front of a camera.
Maybe. But, I saw it and I was pretty excited. My girlfriend
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
So now I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what about this and this and this? And
See, I actually, they called me racist a little bit before I saw it, but then I get a fallback on, I don't love Marvel movies, like the
That's
spoiler
true.
alert.
That's
and so
true.
people more so are just like, you're going to hate it anyways.
Right.
Not because I'm totally racist, because I'm biased against Marvel.
You're Marvelist.
Yes,
you're a Marvelism.
I'm a Marvelist.
Yes, because I actually saw you there that night. We were walking by,
Yeah.
and Valerie goes, he's going to hate it. And I'm like, he hates it already.
No,
It says Marvel right there.
No, that's not true. And I'll get into why. I will get into why.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
But tell you what, just so we're not kind of spoiling some things a little bit for people who might not, all two of you, who might not have seen it yet, what did you like about it? Maybe without blowing some, key scenes.
I'm going to say the characters. The characters
Okay.
and the acting. They nailed it.
Yeah.
The Dora Milaje are women who pledged their lives to the throne and to the security of the kingdom.
Wakanda forever!
My character, Okoye, is the general of the armed forces as a whole.
Okoye represents the old guard and tradition, while my character, Nakia, challenges tradition.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
Nakia was born to be a warrior. She was born with a warrior spirit.
I got into a disagreement. Made a bit of a mess.
Training was very, very interesting. The Dora have a way of fighting that was supposed to be inspired by moving as one. The Dora work together to take down somebody, like the fight we have with Killmonger.
Step into the spotlight.
The action's there. It's not your typical film. It's raw. It's real.
Step into the spotlight.
Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
Oh, and the under-reliance on humor. Because
Right.
as you know,
Right.
I kind of hate that the direction of the Thor Fraggle Rock and also Guardians 2, like, I don't need to see so much slapstick in my world-ending catastrophe.
Okay.
And I want to see, like, some seriousness. And this movie had bite,
Yeah.
because it's a cat. But, yeah. But no, it actually felt grounded and didn't rely on humor. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Marvel has, and you're one of them, has been receiving a bit of feedback about it being formulaic.
Yeah, a little bit.
And weak villains that are hidden behind one-liners.
Yep.
And everyone's chasing the same infinity MacGuffins. And
Well
so
said.
Marvel sort of responded to that a bit, and they went, well, okay, then Civil War is going to be a bit of like a political thriller. And then they went, Ant-Man's going to be a heist film.
Yeah.
And Thor's going to be like a cosmic buddy comedy. And some of them didn't have the stone in it at all.
Yeah.
But none of them had a really good villain other than maybe Loki.
Yeah.
So they were
And
still...
he's not a villain anymore, let's be
He's
honest.
not really.
You can paint it with any genre brush you want. They're the same movie. This movie was a little bit different.
I think this movie's different too. I think
Yes.
this movie had a lot of social and political commentary that made it heavier, more serious.
Agreed.
Not a lot of one-liners in it. There were some people who, like Shuri is one of the characters that has a fair amount of liners, but it makes sense for her personality.
Yes, agreed.
Everyone isn't the same.
Ah, thank
You know what I
goodness.
mean?
Right.
They all don't have one-liners and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, do you want me to go full on to what I didn't and did like? Or?
No, I mean, just for now. Like, for instance, I totally agree that I think the cast is great.
Yes.
The acting's great. I liked the supporting characters. We got to know some of them, obviously, more than others. It's only a 2-hour, 20-minute movie. And it's a little long.
Only.
And I really enjoy them. I think that the cast is probably the strongest part of the movie as a whole.
Easily.
You know what I mean?
And look, I mean, before we get into like the full review, this movie does do a lot. Like, it is the first of this last 10 years, because there's movies like the Blade trilogy
Spawn,
and whatnot, and
yeah,
Spawn.
whatnot.
But they do say this is the first black-led superhero movie of the last 10 years. And it's a big moment for movies that now each of these movies are making near $1 billion.
Yeah.
And this was not seen before. So for kids of any sort to see a Wonder Woman or a Black Panther, then even more movies in the future, because now they're kind of getting it. After 17 movies, they're kind of getting it, being like, oh, we need movies for everybody, not just Captain America.
Yeah, the one with the woman did really well.
Yeah.
Hey, the black cast did really. Maybe we should do more of that.
And I'm not saying this isn't just white guilt coming from me. It's more so like there's other people that are watching your movie, and honestly, audiences that will give you money if you make a movie tailored for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually think they're grabbing onto the opportunity, and it's the right kind of product that they're not pandering at all.
No, that's true too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a very bottom line argument as well. It's tough to argue with a $404 million tape.
Precisely. A sequel is already being greenlit.
I'd make another one. I'd make another 10. You know,
And they will.
And they will. Just one other thing, we were talking about villains a minute ago. Eric Killmonger is the main villain in this movie. There is also Claw in there, played by Andy Serkis, not in a monkey suit of sorts or whatever.
Right, no CG. It's just him in a plastic rocket hand.
That's right. But Michael B. Jordan plays Eric Killmonger, and I think they finally got a really good villain. I really liked him as a villain. Not only because he looked formidable, he actually looked like he could take Black Panther, like he was a threat, but he was also a sympathetic character. Half the time, I'm agreeing with him.
Me too.
And I'm going,
no, look.
Is he the bad guy?
His agenda was not, I'm going to make a space beam, and we're going to destroy the planet, of which I live on.
Right.
It was more, look, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but it's more like, hey, here's humanity. How can we help them out? And you're like, oh, you make a solid point.
Yeah.
And also, like, there's depth to him.
Yep.
There's no dance off at the end. You know, like, this guy, he almost deserves the right to Wakanda in many ways.
Well,
yeah.
Without spoiling it. Yeah. But you know what? Without spoiling it, Eric Killmonger is black. Yes. Yeah. And he has this point. He has this point where he says to T'Challa that, hey, you've got all these wonderful things here in Wakanda, which, by the way, if we didn't mention it, is a secretive country. They're very isolationist. They have literally a cloak of invisibility. Everyone thinks they are a third world country with nothing to offer. They don't visit. There's no tourism trade. No one knows that they are actually very rich in both culture and in vibranium, which is, let's hear this, Rich. An alien metal that was deposited there in ancient times by a meteorite.
Yes.
And this stuff is what Marvel uses to basically they do anything with it, but you will know it's made. Captain America's shield is made out of it.
I call it the Deus Ex Machina.
Metal. Yes, it is. It can do anything. In this movie, it does way too much.
But no, like, to this movie's credit, like you mentioned Claw, you mentioned Killmonger. Anyone who's read a comic book knows there's a lot of terrible villains with a lot of terrible names. But a movie that can make you look at these two people with terrible names, or even a really silly mythology about eating an artichoke heart and getting cat powers, but kind of believe it, is a good movie.
Yeah.
So all credit to this movie for that reason.
But I have a feeling we're entering the zone where we're pulling some credit. So I'll tell you what, let's take a mild break here, and we will come back and really get into Black Panther with spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, just go to the very end. But if you have and you want to hear about this, please stick around, because I think what we have is important to say.
Yeah.
Because I've read your review.
Okay.
And I'm like, there's a good point there. And it has nothing to do with us being white. It doesn't. You'll see.
There's certainly been a lot of excitement about the opportunity to do a standalone Black Panther based upon the way the character was set up in Civil War. Civil War has lost his father. Coming to this movie, you're seeing him actually deal with the responsibility of becoming the new king.
We are home.
Wakanda is the most technologically advanced country on the planet.
A big function of how Wakanda works, staying out of the spotlight, staying in the shadows.
It's my responsibility to make sure that Wakanda does not fall into the hands of a person like you.
The amount of responsibility that he has as a superhero and as a king, to me, that's one of the most fun things.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
Okay, welcome back to Critical Mass. Hey, there you go. It's a nice little... So we were talking about Black Panther, the background, how we're a little bit racist, apparently. No, actually, we were celebrating the movie Black Panther.
Yes.
And how much money it made. Like, you can't deny that this movie is going to be a phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
That he will be...
Well, it already is.
Yeah. He will be a mainstay in any, like, combo, team-up Marvel movie coming up.
Probably.
Like, let's say if Robert Downey Jr. decides to leave or Chris Evans decides to leave, you put Benedict Cumberbatch, I said it right that time, or Chadwick Boseman in the lead, fine.
Yeah.
The movie will make just as much money.
Oh, sure.
And so, we talked about the good things.
And there are a lot more good things.
Yeah, and
I'm sure
maybe we'll get into these, but we're going to talk a little bit more about spoilers now. And so, maybe pause this for a little bit or whatnot. But
keep watching.
Keep watching. You've seen the movie. And then at the end, we'll give our official grades.
Sure.
So, what'd you think? I mean, is there any part to you that kind of rang out maybe more negatively? Yeah.
There are some parts that when people ask me why, I ended up giving it a B, and I struggled with a B minus.
All right.
And people were going, "You hate it!" Like
a B is pretty nice.
F is hating it, by the way.
By the way, when I gave Greatest Showman a B or a B minus, everyone said I hate happiness.
Children.
Yes, I hate children.
Should never, yeah.
I was like, no, it's fine. Oh.
No, it's
yeah.
But so when I think about the things that didn't work for me, even while the movie was playing.
Yeah.
Firstly, I was going, it was a little long.
Yeah.
And it felt long.
And you said it was 2 hours, 14 minutes?
I think it's 2 hours, 20.
Okay. It felt like 2:40.
Yeah.
Almost.
Some movies are literally long in length, but they don't feel that way because they have a clip to them. And this one had a lot of exposition.
A lot.
A lot of explanation of people, places, things. And I don't mind exposition. I enjoy character development. I like a good plot.
Right.
I just think it could have moved along faster.
Like, to its credit, like, they actually told a full story here.
Sure.
People have compared it to Shakespeare, which is just ridiculous. They say that because it's a family drama, essentially.
Yeah. Sure.
A family in monarchy. A little bit Lion King-esque, if you will, and Lion King was based off Hamlet, so that's okay. But they tell this full story about a family, and it unfolds in a pretty natural way, but it gets to near the 2 hour point, and you go, okay, that'd be a really good climax. We could end it right there. And then there's a huge CG battle at the end, which really feels tacked on. And I know you need it for a superhero movie. I would have really preferred if Ryan Coogler, who directed Creed and Fruitvale Station, if he kept this more grounded, if he kind of left the money out of it, left the purple and yellow glowing suits out of it, and went for a grounded battle approach. Because when there were actual challenges in this movie, and if you've seen the movie, there's two scenes where they get the cat powers removed, and there's a fight. And they were my favorite parts of the movie because hand-to-hand combat, the camera stayed where it was, and it was captivating. And then when they put on the cat suits, I checked out.
See, now, although I appreciate, how do I say this? I don't want to blow it for people who might not have seen it, but Black Panther is mainly a hand-to-hand kind of guy. I mean, he has a suit that can do things at an extended range, but basically, he's a master of different sorts of fighting styles, and he's the man that way. And so when you have someone
on his feet.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when you have someone that pugilistic, a lot of your action sequences are going to be of the hand-to-hand variety and not a lot of lightning bolts and that kind of thing.
Yes.
But the thing that bothered me about those scenes, although as much as I liked them, I was annoyed that I really didn't see anything new in those scenes.
Right.
The way that I thought, anyway. And the way that they were shot or cut or something, they almost seemed too fast for me to follow what was going on. Whereas in, say, Thor Ragnarok, when Thor was fighting the Hulk, you can actually see that the Hulk swings at him and he ducks and goes under him.
Okay.
Like, you can see what they're doing.
Right.
And meanwhile, these guys, this is supposed to be what they do. And I'm like, I can't tell what's happening here.
Yeah, maybe the director isn't super experienced with action other than doing Creed.
Right.
Like this fast-paced action. It was very paint by the numbers.
Yeah. Again, for pugilistic guys, I wanted to see some really interesting fighting movements and styles. It seemed pretty normal.
Instead, you just got sonic booms a lot. Anytime he'd get hit, and then he'd just blast everyone away.
Yeah, but even in those sequences where they have a challenge, where Killmonger shows up and challenges him for the throne, and they're just basically fighting hand-to-hand with, like, swords and things and
I like
spears.
those parts a lot.
I liked it, and I thought it was especially hard-hitting because this guy was capable of taking him down. And the stakes were there for a moment, which is hardly ever there in Marvel films.
Yeah.
And but even
people
then,
die.
Yeah, but even then, I really didn't see them doing anything especially different or over like another level. And for me, I wanted the action sequences, especially the hand-to-hand stuff, to be really hard.
Would that have put it over the edge of a B for you?
It would have helped, yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that I didn't like, has nothing to do with being white, is that some of the folks, M'Baku and some other supporting characters, changed their motivations for an off-screen reason, as far as I can tell.
Explain. You're going to have to clarify here.
M'Baku is the leader of one of the tribes on Wakanda that Black Panther talks to.
Big dude.
Big dude. He's the guy you've seen where everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's huge. And, and it's great. Looks the part, he's great.
Yeah.
But again, I'm encapsulating, but Black Panther basically says to him, I need your help to defeat Killmonger. And of course, if you don't, who do you think he's going to come for next, kind of thing? He tries to talk him into it, and in the end, M'Baku goes, no, we're not helping you. And that's the last you see of him until he shows up at the end, Han Solo style, and saves the day.
You know this is Disney, though,
exactly.
Right? It's that same thing.
And I went...
As the audience, you never question that he's going to not show up. Like, he's going to be there.
I know, but I wanted a reason.
In fact, actually, it was the whole, I was actually at a B- this entire movie. I was going, this is a bit long. I don't really care about the action scenes. The Korea scenes were actually okay. But I'd rather explore Wakanda than Korea.
Yeah, Wakanda's really cool.
But they didn't stay there long enough. Like, for me, I'm like, you did some great world building here. Show me that world. Show me your tech city. But then they went to Korea and did some James Bond.
I got a feeling we're going to see it in Infinity War.
I agree with that.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about Wakanda?
Textiles, shepherds, cool outfits.
All a front.
How much more are you hiding?
The film's about Panther, but the film is equally about Wakanda. We'll see T'Challa's friends, people we have to answer to, when he's sitting on that throne.
Wakanda's walls have been up since its inception.
It's the best kept secret in the world.
Because they have something the world wants.
They have this natural resource that kind of thrives off of. They mine it, they use it in technology. It's very sought after by anybody who's ever come in contact with it.
Black Panther has to look out for an entire nation and then also consider that nation's place and how they affect the rest of the world.
To see an African country with kings and queens and warriors, it's so inspiring. It's just an incredible world to occupy.
Step into the spotlight. Wakanda forever!
So yeah, I didn't really care all that much for the action, really any action scene. I was totally taken out of it, and that led to the last 20 minutes to half hour where it became this big, 3-part structure of there's an army fighting, and they were allies essentially, but they were fighting. I never believed that they were really killing each other. The threat wasn't there. There was the train sequence between the two cats. I never really cared. And then there was Martin Freeman, who shouldn't have probably been in the movie. I didn't really see a need for him, other than being you're the token white guy, which is funny.
Or Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
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 What I have a feeling is that he obviously knows all about Wakanda now, as well as everyone else at the end of the film.
Right.
Obviously, this is the spoiler part.
Is an I am Iron Man sort of moment.
Yeah. He decides to open the border, so to speak, and let people know who and what they are.
Right.
But I have a feeling that now that Martin Freeman knows a whole lot more than maybe they're going to share, I'm wondering if that's part of, hey, you need to share more with us. That might be coming. We need more technology. We need more of this, more of that. We got James Rhodes, who could really use some blue herbs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got a feeling he's going to use his knowledge in a further movie.
Speaking of Wakanda, though, in this movie, it's very standalone. I have a lot of issues with many other superhero movies. In fact, I'm getting pretty tired of the genre because you sit there and you go, well, why isn't so-and-so helping out everyone else? Ant-Man had a pretty funny joke, and it's let's just call the Avengers.
I think we should call the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this movie, because it takes place in Wakanda and because it's T'Challa's story, it makes sense that no one else is
No one
there.
even knows.
It's great.
Right.
Whereas if there's an attack in New York, Spider-Man's like, hey, hope someone can help me out. Oh, Iron Man is at a wedding or something, you know. Sounds great.
It's busy.
But no, I really like that part of it where this movie, it felt like a standalone movie, even though it follows the events in Civil War. It even shows flashbacks, so you don't even really need to watch another movie.
That's true.
Maybe you shouldn't.
You could just watch this movie and it's a standalone story.
Yeah.
True.
But then it will tie into everything else, obviously.
And that's part of it. I didn't mind that, but there's part of it that I didn't like as well.
Okay.
For instance, we get a throwaway line or two about Bucky.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with it because that's all we really needed.
Yes.
But there was nothing about Captain America. I wanted someone to go, hey, where's the captain? And have him go, he's off rescuing his friends or something.
Okay.
Just acknowledge, where is Captain America? He was there. He dropped off Bucky.
That's true.
I don't know. I just wanted something. And the other thing is, again, I mentioned this earlier, vibranium is a metal that absorbs impact. That's why Cap's shield, he can use it and jump out of a window and land, and it takes the brunt of the impact, etc. But apparently it does pretty much anything else you want it to.
Yeah, this unobtainium.
In this movie.
It can cure everything. It can make anything fly. There are spaceships there. There's anything you want it to be, it will be.
And I wanted them to say, even in a post-credit scene, that the soul gem had something to do with it. With all this extra stuff. There was no soul gem in this.
You're such a geek.
It is part of the MCU.
But I love you for it.
But
You're
here's
right.
the thing. I was talking about this with a friend of mine that I work with named Brock, and he had a great idea that for a post-credit scene, why don't they just show some of the women who were working the garden where the herbs were, that Killmonger burns in his rage, have them like working the soil, seeing if they can rescue anything, and having T'Challa come in and go, keep looking like the root structure is deep.
Okay.
And have the camera sort of pan down and see that all this stuff, there's a soul gem down there that this stuff is coming from.
Yeah, that's a
because
great idea.
I thought that explains the ancestral plane, that explains a whole lot.
It honestly explains the powers too.
It explains a lot of powers.
Yeah.
It explains, it's what everyone else does that finds an infinity gem. They try to make stuff out of it.
Yeah.
So maybe they're combining vibranium with soul gem stuff, and that's how you can create all this stuff. That I would have bought.
I like that you've overthought this.
That
but
I would have
It
bought.
makes total sense.
But
Can I tell you one of my big issues, though?
Sure.
I already talked about jokes and how I liked this movie had less jokes. Less jokes does not mean good jokes. I thought the humor here was pretty terrible and way off point.
trying to think of.
For example, what are those? T'Challa's sister looks at his sandals and says, what are those? Which is a 5-6-year-old meme. And I was like, well, you guys are pretty technologically advanced. You'd think the internet and its memes have been around for a while. How did this get into the script?
Maybe this was a personal joke they've had a while ago.
Maybe. But I sat there and I just, I cringed. I mean, the jokes here, I did not need them at all. Because the jokes probably would have happened through the action or just character interaction. And I thought they were kind of pointless. I thought they were trying to be like, hey, no, it's fine. We're still funny. No, you guys are great. It's a fine movie on its own without the ending. Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, like, I liked most everyone in the cast. I think Chadwick Boseman, maybe the least. And I'm not saying that as a slight to him because he did fine. He plays a very regal character.
Right.
A very Captain America-esque character.
He's a little stiff.
A little stiff. And I think on purpose.
Sure.
Yeah, like, we don't need another cocky braggart and
Right.
just walking around doing one-liners. We need you to be this way so that when you see Michael B. Jordan as the antagonist,
Right.
and everyone's like, welcome to Wakanda, and you see Michael B. Jordan, he says, sup.
Sup.
And it throws you off
Yeah.
in a good way.
Right.
So
Because he doesn't respect him at all.
Right.
He's not bowing down to him. What's up? Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I think, like, going back to the cast was great. Dialogue was pretty solid. Jokes were not necessary.
Okay. And I guess this is when you talk about it coming down to a B or a C or whatever, when you have enough little things,
Yes.
it just kind of goes like that. Another thing that kind of got me was, as much as I liked the soundtrack, I thought I thought they stuck it everywhere they could, and sometimes to me, it didn't serve the scene.
Yeah.
It's a little thing, but it's just one of those little ticks, you know, that eventually adds up.
Well, they definitely go for a hard rap soundtrack, especially when Killmonger's involved. And then there's very instrumental songs that are
African-themed stuff.
a little borrowed from Interstellar, but that's another point. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying there. They went a little too heavy, but I think they want to make it memorable. I think Marvel's actually been struggling with their scores because none of them stand out at all. This one, people would buy the soundtrack, I think.
Trying to think of the Avengers theme.
Exactly.
Although I remember Wonder Woman's yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
It's true.
Air
You
guitar
can
and
pick it out.
everything.
It works. But yeah, there's all these kind of little things that eventually just bring it down just a little. And for me, one of the things that I really liked about it that we might not have mentioned too much is the fact that obviously it's a mostly black cast, but they also bring in a whole lot of stuff that is in the very relevant right now to talk about. Wow, I can't say it.
Yeah.
Isolationism.
Isolationalism.
That one.
Yes.
Versus, open borders, which
Yeah.
is something, even in this country we're talking about now with the
Right.
wall and all that kind of stuff. Sharing technology or putting our country first kind of thing.
Right.
The idea of what's really the difference between patriotism and nationalism. There's
true.
all that there.
Or
There's
tradition versus progress.
progress, yeah.
Yes.
Love versus loyalty with a sub plot that was going on there. And also something that Michael B. Jordan brings in, and I hope I say this correctly. I've been trying to work out how I want to say this. Michael B. Jordan, again, one of the reasons he's so sympathetic is that he's got a great backstory and a great point, and and in addition to having like a personal grudge against T'Challa and his family, he has this overriding goal.
Yes.
Right? And one of the things he says is he comes in and into Wakanda and he says, there are billions of people that look like us, meaning black people, around the world that could use what you've got here, and yet you're hoarding it.
Right.
And that's very relevant to today for a lot of different things. He is technically a refugee, and he could not get in.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Additionally, one of the reasons why he is so against T'Challa and his family is that he grew up on his own. He was left alone.
Yep.
Without parents, without a father. And that's something that even the likes of Bill Cosby, back when people cared what he said,
right,
would talk about with like fathers need to be involved. Like fathers need to be involved with their kids.
Right.
And they put that front and center in his origin. That part of the reason why he's such a bad guy is that his father wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's like they have an amazing amount of
That's
depth.
true. They go into...
There's a lot of depth in this movie. But because of that, it's a little heavy for a superhero film.
It's true.
I found myself going, I still want some fun.
No, I actually think this is perfect timing because this is a February release. It's a huge release.
Yeah.
I walked out of here going, it's a really long movie, and people will like it once. Because it's so long, they may not revisit this movie like they would at Guardians of the Galaxy, for example.
I haven't seen it yet. Again, I'm going to.
Eventually I will. Honestly, the runtime really, I dread it. But to be 3 months before Avengers Infinity, which is just going to be... It's going to be all over the place. It's going to be an action movie from start to finish. I think putting a slower movie like this 3 months before
Pace-wise,
crazy, fast movie, it's good timing for them.
That's true. Seriously.
And I know you're going to be super stoked.
Oh, I'm stoked. But I mean, Infinity War is just going to be, it's just a comic book on the screen.
Yeah.
There's probably not going to be any depth to Infinity War.
No.
This is all whiz-bang.
Someone's going to die.
Hopefully.
Please.
And they better stay dead.
No.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be a bunch of whiz-bang action sequences, and that's kind of what they've been gearing up to do.
Yeah.
So
it's good timing for them.
You're right.
They have 3 releases this year in sequence.
Yeah.
And there's Ant-Man and the Wasp, which no one really cares. I mean,
Boom,
come on.
I can't wait for it. I can't wait. Romantic comedy with...
Or something. Paint another genre brush on it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It'll make money. I got to tell you, whenever this happens, a new movie comes down the pike, and I talk about it on Fox, and I say, oh, Black Panther's coming in a month or whatever it is. Someone on the set goes, invariably, something along the lines of, these superhero films, they're just done. They're over. And then $400 million later, I'm like, yeah, over? Huh? It's over? And of course, the next one is going to be Infinity, and it's just going to...
It is a bit ridiculous. So this year has 9 superhero films.
Yep.
Like, I would like it to take a break. I'm a geek, and I would like it to take a break. Maybe it's because I've seen bad decisions behind the scenes happen a lot, especially with DC. And so I get sad about where it happens to a lot of these movies. But look, if there's great ones that can come out, or even this one, which I give an average grade, I still think it's near top tier for Marvel itself. Because it feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they really did have a lot to say with it.
Yeah.
I mean, they really, again, they had all these different themes in there. And I don't know, maybe they should have stuck with one, but I felt like they gave enough time to all of them that they all mattered.
Right.
And especially now, because at the end, again, spoilers, T'Challa decides he's going to take Killmonger's idea, just not in his way, which was a militant way.
A global war,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, pretty much. We're going to share our weaponry with them, etc. They're gonna know who we are, whether they like it or not, kind of thing.
Right.
But he's going to open the borders, and they're going to interface with the world. Which is something again that we talk about every day.
Until the world is destroyed in the next movie.
Could be.
Yeah.
But this idea of how far do we go with America first, or how far do we give to the world?
Right.
What do we expect in return? It was some really good stuff in this movie. That's what kept me in the B range.
I like that. Yeah.
There were a whole lot of things I was like, I don't like this motivation wasn't there. I had these fights, the CGI in some cases was a little rubbery.
Most for me,
and
right.
that was bringing it down, and I'm going, yeah, but look at all what they tried to do here.
Okay.
And I felt like they did it really well, especially with what we sort of mentioned. The idea of Wakanda at all is this sort of idea of an African nation that was untouched by colonialism.
Correct.
What would it have been like? Just an amazing sort of thing.
And
Now,
it also happened to be hit by a comet of vibranium.
But I mean, how would the culture have gone their way rather than being influenced by like our way kind of thing? Just amazing stuff that they put in this movie, and that's what keeps it in this range for me. Okay. But I wish it had done all the other like comic book stuff that it should have done.
See, I'm the exact opposite. It's the comic book stuff that kept me out of it. It's the long runtime that every comic book movie needs at this point. Keep it 2 hours. If it can be a solid, tight story, great.
Yeah.
Maybe
need a little more of that.
Get rid of the action scenes. I want this to feel like more like the director's work and less like a studio film. Or at least make the action feel memorable, because it did not for me.
Yeah, not all that stuff in Korea, etc.
Yeah.
Maybe some fights here and there weren't even completely necessary.
And then lastly, like I have a big problem with the villains of any of these Marvel movies being the same exact kind of thing, the same exact kind of fighter that the hero is. And we basically have a guy in a yellow cat suit and a guy in a purple cat suit. And they're the same thing. Like there's no originality to that. And so I loved Killmonger up until he put the cat suit on.
See, and this is something I talked with someone else about. They didn't like that either. It's always been strange to me that Iron Man's classic villain in the comic books is a magical figure.
Yes.
Because that to me doesn't make sense. Right. But it makes sense to me that he goes up against the likes of Ironmonger or Doctor Doom.
Right.
To me, that makes sense. But it wouldn't make sense to me if T'Challa went up against Galactus. He's done. So to me, it makes sense that he goes up against someone that's like him.
I mean, we can have this geeky conversation later. It's
I
like
guess we could.
Superman versus Lex Luthor. It's brains versus might.
Yeah.
It's magic versus science.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, it's right. It works sometimes and other times.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We could do this off air.
But I will say this. This was yet another thing that kind of brought me down just a titch, and I'm still going. There's a cliche that when someone dies, they have enough time at the last minute to say what they need to say before they die. Well, in this movie, they take that to a crazy extreme.
They really
There's
do.
like a conversation, then let's drag someone to the top of a mountain, let's have another conversation, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're doing this? That kind of stuff made me go, oh, come on.
Right.
And again, there's a length issue there too. It probably could have gone like that. And if I edit on the side, and if you do a little bit here and there,
right.
You just got rid of 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch this again today if it was 15 minutes shorter.
I'll make you a cut.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I'd watch
a clean
that.
flicks.
Right.
A clean Black Panther.
We'll stay away from that.
Yeah. Actually, and that's the interesting thing too. It's PG-13.
Yeah.
But there really isn't too much in here that kids couldn't watch.
There is death. No blood, but there is death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, by way of like language, I can't think of too much.
No.
Like skin, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, just warriors.
And, well, I mean like sex and stuff.
Yeah. No.
Nothing like that. And I think because they knew a lot of kids were going to be watching this movie.
Yeah.
And they could have done something with the outfits to be more revealing, or who knows what.
Yeah.
And they didn't. So I think they were watching their wallet there too.
Yeah.
With the lack of language
it's
and
Disney.
other things.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did a good job.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. Even I will say that as the non-racist but biased against Marvel. Did you just do that? Just a little bit. But biased against Marvel. I walked out of this movie going, that was fine. That was fine. There's nothing better than fine, but I felt fine about it.
Fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad my girlfriend Valerie didn't see you on the way out. Because if she'd said, what do you think? And if you going, fine, I would have had to have held her back.
No, because she thought I would hate it. She thought I'd do one of these,
okay,
like,
that's true.
you know, but I would have been like, no, it's fine. It's okay. That's good for me. That's a double thumbs up.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We are home. My son, it is your time.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be.
Amazing carpet, you know, the big setup right here, Hollywood and Highland. I love seeing a movie for the first time in a packed theater. It's gonna be good.
We've all been waiting for this day for so long. I know that the cast, we feel really blessed to have the opportunity to tell the story, and people are really excited to see it. We're really excited to see it.
It's amazing that so many people have already bought tickets. I've seen the movie. I can assure you that it's gonna be an amazing experience.
Tonight is pretty exciting to be able to share it with folks for the first time. You know, it's pretty exciting. Also nerve-wracking, but
this movie finally coming to life is a dream come true. In a lot of ways, feels like a highlight of my time in Marvel.
It's the culmination of so much time and love and effort and enjoyment and excitement. Sharing it is a really big moment for us. It's really big.
Oh man, it's like a dream come true. It's all of these months of hard work and just dedication, and now getting the chance to see it, like I'm super excited. Show off.
This never gets old.
It's obviously a hugely impactful film. Perfect for now. It's about time this film has been made. I think, you know, the great cast that Ryan Coogler's assembled. I'm just jazzed to be part of it. I'm really excited to be part of it.
Let's have some fun.
It completely stands out in the whole Marvel Universe, and that's what's really exciting about the film. The concept of it within the Marvel Universe reflects its standing within the world. It's a secret, and it's like no other.
I mean, we've never seen anything like Wakanda before. This is about everyone coming to Wakanda through this movie.
I think people are gonna be blown away by the technology, but I don't want to give anything away. They still gotta wait till February 16th in order to see it.
Considering Guardians of the Galaxy 2 last year,
yeah,
I walked out with just
well, even me, and I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. And this, I went, what did you do?
Yeah.
So, but you know, a lot of times they need to kind of find their footing here and there.
Agreed.
And oftentimes the sophomore slump happens, and then there's a correction,
and mixed with the formula. You know, if I see a big bombastic space battle in the next movie, I might be okay with it because I saw a little more grounded story here.
And I kind of expected in this one.
Yeah.
This is the big purple space alien.
That
We're
looks like a thumb.
We're going to get some cosmic battles here.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen. In fact, that's pretty much what this whole movie's going to be.
Yeah. It'll be like Harry Potter 7 Part 2,
That's
where it's
right.
just a video game movie the entire time.
He's going to be going for this last soul gem, lots of fighting. He's going to get the soul gem, lots of fighting.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're gone, lots of fighting. And then break Infinity 2. And it's just going to be fighting.
Not stop. Billions of dollars later.
Which is fine.
Yes.
Oh,
so good.
So, any last thoughts here?
I got him out. It's a fine movie.
But you can check out his more maybe detailed review online at
absolutely. ShowtimeShowdown.com. We also have a podcast episode about the episode.
I'm
and there are
not
people
on
that are there are people that are a little more positive about it than me, so you should definitely go listen. That's at baconcell.com.
I also have a longer review, written review about 400 words on saltlakemagazine.com. And I'll be on the Nerd Dome podcast that's coming out pretty soon. We're basically just going to talk Black Panther.
Perfect.
And pretty much all those folks loved it. So I'm going to be the jerk there, I think.
I think people kind of eat it up regardless of quality sometimes. But
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I'm the jerk with like a B minus. That's what's crazy about it. You're like, this is the other thing. And I'll finish with this. Some of these movies, if you come out with, again, anything less than an A, you hated it.
Yeah.
No, there's a range.
Yeah.
And I also think people kind of got misled a little bit by Rotten Tomatoes in a way, because it had this 97%.
I haven't visited that site in 2 years, so I don't really know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
no, I look at it all the time.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about that is people misunderstand that. They think that means everybody loved it.
Yeah.
No. That means that 2 or 3% hated it. And the other 99% didn't think it sucked in various degrees.
Yeah, they may have given it a B-.
They may have given it a D.
Really?
And it's still there. 60% is their line.
Wow, okay.
59% is a squashed tomato.
Wow, okay.
60 is...
You threw that at me, by the way.
I know.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
Because you know. But
I know.
Yeah, but the 60 line, it's technically a D, so it didn't fail.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, that just means that 96% of critics didn't think it sucked.
So what you're saying is, don't go to Rotten Tomatoes, just watch us, and we'll let you know.
That's true. But those kind of numbers, when people throw them out, can be pretty misleading. Because when I came in and talked about it and said it was good, not great, people were like, "But 97 on Rotten Tomatoes." I'm like, no, 97 people could give it a D, and it would have a 97% because they're all there.
People tend to see that number and they say, "Oh, this is the next, to be, like a film geek, a Citizen Kane, a Vertigo." It's not the next Godfather. It's a 97% for a superhero movie.
It might be Godfather 3.
Yeah.
No. That, I don't believe.
No.
You might.
No. I'm backing away from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, so there's that. And I got the same thing, again, out of 50 Shades Freed. I got people who loved the movie, and because I didn't give it the top score ever, you hate it. People, you can still like something and not. There's a range of liking. And,
I feel like I've been pretty nice today.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. We'll see.
maybe next time.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of next time, we're hoping to make this a weekly thing again. If you can make it, if not,
I'll be here.
I'll replace him.
Oh my gosh.
We got other critics, and but yeah, we're hoping to keep it weekly. Coming up is I know everyone's talking Black Panther, but there are other movies coming out. Do you recall what's coming up?
Annihilation. This coming week.
Annihilation with Natalie Portman.
But we're going to see it on Netflix pretty soon, which is there's an interesting story there. But studios are running scared; they're not going to make enough money.
And date night with my man, Jason Bateman.
Indeed. Yeah. So a lot to come.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a preview show or whatnot. So,
yes, that's the other thing. Coming, we'll do a preview show for spring, the spring season, what's coming and what to watch out for, because we know.
Yeah. That's what we do.
Get done.
Okay. See ya.
It's Bonaduce, Critical Mass. Thanks for watching.